It's time for Mr. Fundamental!
Presented by no one.
This video was requested after my Spurs offseason review, so shout out to Corbin NBA. Marcus Morris pulled a DeAndre Jordon during the 2019 NBA free agency. He pulled out from the Spurs 2 years $20 million offer for the Knicks 1 year $15 million deal. Why did he do that? The simplest answer is money. Looking at the deals handed out during free agency, a player of his size and skill set could have net between 15 to 20 million per year, like Rudy Gay, Bojan Bogdanovic, and Harrison Barnes. So the Spurs offer would be way below market value, especially since he just came off one that he signed in 2014, which was 4 years, 20 million. It also looks like he chose money over winning, according to 538.com's 2020 win-loss projection. Let's look at what might happen if Morris accepted the Spurs offer. Rudy Gay is a nice example of what Morris would be like if he joined the Spurs. His role would be smaller, and ideally, the Spurs could continue to extend him yearly like they did with Gay, but the Spurs won't have the cap space to do so. In a smaller role and a possible adjustment period, it could affect his production and limit his payday in the 2020 offseason. Best case scenario, he plays well and contends with the Spurs. Get 10 million this year and look for a big payday next year. But only a few teams have enough cap space to do so. Worst case scenario, he'll struggle and end up with a Wilson Chandler situation next year, signing for the minimum. This looks like a high risk, low reward situation. Compare that to his Knicks deal. Not only will he earn an extra 5 million, he'll get a bigger role as well. If the Knicks do well, he'll probably be an impact player contributing to their wins. If the Knicks are out of the running for the playoffs, he could get traded or a buyout. Usually in buyouts, players would give back the veteran minimum, since they could make that with their new team. Not only will he make the full 15 million this year, but he can also dictate which contending team he joins. In the event of a trade, his 15 million salary would be easier to trade for, compared to Iggy's 17 million and Gallinari's 22 million. Of course, the Knicks can opt not to trade him, but they run the risk of losing him for nothing in the next offseason, and possibly a disgruntled player in their locker room. He'll be facing the same 2020 free agency problem as he would if he signed with the Spurs, but he would have a bigger role to increase his production and earn more over the course of this year, with the possibility of joining a contender in the middle of the season. Of course, it might not work out that perfectly. A great example would be Trevor Ariza last season, who was also coming off a below market value contract. He signed a 1 year $15 million deal with the Suns, and his production dropped as well. Before the trade deadline hit, he was already traded to the Wizards, who weren't considered as contenders. Ariza didn't have the best statistical season, but he still netted a 2 years $25 million deal this offseason. This is quite a realistic path of what might happen to Morris this season, which is still heaps better than what might happen if he signed with the Spurs. The ultimate worst case scenario would be Jeff Green in 2016, when he signed a 1 year $15 million deal with the Magic. Green's minutes and production dropped, and at that time, that salary is a huge number and hard to trade as well. His track record, size, and skills still got him multiple chances at signing minimum contracts with contenders. For Morris, this outcome would be the same as the worst case scenario with the Spurs, making his option to sign with the Knicks a high reward situation. There's a lot of other factors to consider when signing free agent deals. While some player might get criticized for choosing money over championship, their choices could have other implications or other factors like coming off a below market value contract. I want to emphasize that all this was how I interpreted this Marcus Morris fiasco, and not any official tweets or reports. So there could be other reasons or explanations or other sides to this story. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please give it a like down below, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.